Alright, so I just got done watching Orphan First Kill. Literally just watched the first Orphan movie for the first time last night. By the way, hopefully you guys can hear me alright. Yes, I'm recording outside. I would do it in my car because, you know, there's less sound leaking in, but it is so hot in there right now, so I'm not doing that. So like I said, hopefully you guys can hear me alright and the audio isn't too bad. There's a highway literally right next to the movie theater, which honestly is the worst spot to put a movie theater, right next to a highway. Am I right? But yeah, Orphan First Kill, like I said, I watched the first movie for the first time last night. And yeah, this film is also, or it's not also, this film is on Paramount Plus. The first one is also on there. So if you haven't seen either of them, that is the place to go check them out if you don't feel like going to the theaters, which I don't blame you. I wasn't planning on going to see this in the theaters until literally today. So I was like, screw it, I got time. Let's go watch it on the big screen. And yeah, is it better than the first one? Well, first of all, I got to be honest. I didn't do a ranking or like my rating for the first one. So for that one, I'm going to give it like a 7 out of 10. For this one, is it better than the first one? Not really, but is it worse than the first one? No, I wouldn't say the first one was even really bad, because 7 out of 10 is a pretty good score. It's just a really fucked up movie. And this movie is still fucked up, but not quite as fucked up, I guess. Partially because the actress playing her, Isabelle Fuhrman, by the way, my nose freaking flying away there. Isabelle Fuhrman, who plays Esther. I mean, she was, in the first movie, she's supposed to be like 9 years old. Here, she's basically supposed to be like the same age-ish, like 9 to 10 years old. Yet the actress is much older. I believe she's in her late 30s, or not late 30s, late 20s. So at times, it's a little weird seeing this full-grown woman trying to act like a kid, and other times it doesn't really bother me, and you can't really tell at times. Like, if you're just turning your brain off and just watching the movie and taking in the information as you get it, then it's a little less weird, and you know, there's a little bit less of that that uncanny valley. I do think they did some kind of like CGI on the face a little bit, but not a whole lot that I can tell. And then you can tell in other scenes where like they have an actor stand in, like a child actor stand in to get the height right next to other people. I actually saw a behind the scenes photo where a lot of the actors were actually wearing platform shoes that made them much taller as compared to the actress who plays Esther. So yeah, that's kind of insane. Double Toasted, I watched their review for this movie and they were just talking about the whole, oh, she's literally like a 20-something-year-old trying to pass for like a 10-year-old. And yeah, it's fucking weird, for sure. It's weird. But it doesn't ruin the movie. It doesn't distract me too much. And at times, like, you see it and you're just like, that is so obviously not a 9 to 10-year-old girl. But, I mean, if you kind of turn your brain off and just don't think about it, then you don't really notice it, because that's what I did. And overall, like I said, it's not as good as the first film, because in the first film you have this whole twist, and this movie has a twist too, which was very unexpected. But I don't know, the twist worked a little bit better in the last one, just because it was, even though I knew the twist going into it for the most part, it was still shocking and fucked up. So here, I mean, this started off, if you have not seen the first film, they basically explain what the twist was for the first film in this one. Great. Right next to a car repair place, and they're working on cars out there. That's wonderful. But yeah, where was I? I guess I should list the other cast here. We have Julia Stiles as Trisha Albright. We have Rossif Sutherland as Alan Albright, the mother and father there. We have Matthew Finlan as Gunnar Albright, the brother. We got Hiro Kanagawa, probably saying that wrong, as Detective Donnan. And then Samantha Walks, hopefully I'm saying that right, as Dr. Seeker. And that's pretty much the main cast. Let me give you the synopsis for this film. After orchestrating a brilliant escape from an Estonian psychiatric facility, Esther travels to America by impersonating the missing daughter of a wealthy family. Let me set my notes down, because I do not need those anymore. Yeah, so it's interesting. You have this couple who lost their daughter, missing daughter, and Esther gets out of this psychiatric facility and finds missing children, and finds one, can't talk apparently, finds one that looks like her vaguely, and yeah, that's basically how she gets an in with this family. And I'm not going to spoil anything because there's definitely some big twists and turns in this movie and a lot of shocking surprises that I was not expecting. This movie made me a lot less uncomfortable than the first film. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but I don't know. There's something about that first film that's just so fucked up and so hard to watch at times, where it's like, I don't know if this one even really came close to it. I don't know if they're going to make a sequel or anything like that. I might rewatch both of them if there is another sequel or a prequel. Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned this, but this is a fucking prequel. So she was younger in the first movie, and you know, supposedly she would be younger in this movie since it's a prequel, but you have this actress who's like almost 30 most likely, playing a 9-year-old girl. I mean, we have like Tom Holland and shit like that. He's like in his late 20s, 26, something like that, playing Spider-Man in high school essentially. So it's not like the craziest thing we've ever gotten, but at the same time, trying to have a almost 30-year-old woman play a 9 to 10-year-old girl, there's just something about that that's fucking weird and doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But I mean, does it ruin anything? Like I said, it really doesn't, for me at least. It might for other people, but yeah, like I said, there's some good twists and turns in this movie. There's some good bits of horror and gore, but overall, it doesn't come as close as that first film. Like, that first film just did something completely new and different, and this one, while it's a continuation and you kind of know the twists and turns and the details about Esther in this film going into it, literally in the first 5 minutes, I don't know, there's just still something about that. Even if you know the twist, you're still waiting for that twist for the people to find out what's going on. And honestly, in this movie, I would say Esther is more the main character than anybody else, because in the first film, honestly, it was really the main mom, Vera Farmiga. She was really the main character to me personally in that first film, and here it's Esther. So at times even, there's things that they do in this film that make you feel for her and make you kind of root for her, which is different because this is a fucked up chick. But I don't know, man. It's an interesting movie for sure. Is it going to end up on my top 10 best of this year? Absolutely not. Is it going to end up on my top 10 worst? Absolutely not, which is actually surprising. I was expecting this movie to be a lot worse than it actually is. In fact, I would say it's not even a bad movie at all. I would say it was a pretty solid film, solid thriller with some twists and turns that I thought actually surprised me, things that I wasn't expecting. So yeah, that's a good thing, I would say. Overall, I do think I'm going to give this film a 6.5 out of 10. Almost as good as the original, but there's still some things that kind of hold it back for me. And I don't know. I don't have huge complaints about this movie, other than it's just not as, I don't know, it just doesn't punch you as hard as that first film does. So it's hard not to compare a sequel or a prequel to its original. So a lot of people are like, oh, go into it not comparing it to other movies, but like you kind of have to with this case. And then just the whole, you know, having a 30-something, almost 30-year-old woman play almost a 9-10-year-old. I don't know. It's weird for sure. But like I said multiple times, it really didn't take me out of the movie. So I don't know if it's a complaint or really what it is, but it's weird nonetheless. So yeah, there's my review for Orphan First Kill from 2022. Have you seen it? Let me know down in the comments below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you in the middle? I'm definitely more in the middle, but I did like it. I did enjoy it. There wasn't a single time during the film that I actually checked my phone to see what time it was and see how long I have. So props to that for sure. But just in terms of the story, I think the first one did it better, which is why it got deducted that half point essentially. So yeah, surprisingly good in my opinion. But still not like best movie I've seen all year, or even in the top 10, maybe even top 15. So yeah, leave a like on the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Shut up, person on the intercom over there, and I will see you in the next one.